Honestly, it feels the same. Just that beginning of the year excitement, that potential, knowing all the hard work you put in the offseason, making sure it pays off, seeing other guys in the building for the first time, like it's first day of school, everybody's working hard, it looks good. So, I'm excited.
Boys, I'm sure John's probably spoken with veterans like you about the new arrangement. Later in the day, lesser workload. What has been your input and thoughts about what's ahead?
Yeah, I think the coolest thing is using the data. We've been tracking all this information from, training camp, regular season, just collecting all the information on, output, explosion, how much load we take per day, all the different, math that comes up from the data we collect during practice. And then using that to put together the best practice where we can get maximum workload, but also while recovering and making sure we're at our best. And with the injuries we had last year, I think that was a high priority. And we have a great team of people who worked through that information, and so it was cool. But he did share it with us, and we went through the whole process and why. And for the leaders, I think it was huge for us to kind of get an understanding of why we're making the changes, because this is definitely big changes. And guys, everybody naturally wonders why. But then you see like this is the data behind it, and so it's just trying to be at our very best and be the most efficient with our work.
Calais, you've been in the league long enough that when you came in, guys were tackling during training camp. Do you think there's a difference in not tackling and tackling during training camp?
Yeah, training camp has definitely changed a lot since my younger years. The tour days, I got a few years of that. And, now the way we do things is definitely a lot more efficiently, I think is the best word. There's a time where you need to kind of get prepared and get your body together, shock your system so you get ready for a game and you put yourself in position to be able to have success at the beginning of the year. And training camp is for that, but you also want to kind of build up to it. You don't want to move too fast. Back in the day, first day, we come out here, we put full pads on and we're out there, banging, full speed to each other. And the times have changed a lot over the years, and the game has changed a lot. So it's cool to see all the different changes and stuff that go into preparing for a football season. But I think where we're at right now with the ramp up period, kind of built into it. I think we're in a really good place. I tell these young guys all the time, you don't realize how good you have it. It was definitely different. It was a different era. But it's cool to see. I think that it creates a little bit more excitement because you come in, you prepare in the off season to get ready for this moment, but there's still like a process. You still got room for growth. You don't have to come in, and just jump right into it. You get to build, and so I think we're in a really good place. And you see a lot of guys. We look good. The team definitely is in a really good place right now. Everybody feels that way, I guess, at the beginning of the year, and so you got to take it with a little grain of salt. It's the work from now. That's going to really matter the most. But we really are in a good position today.
Calais, this is the first time that we've talked to you since Jaylon passed away. I guess how did that news hit you, and how does that kind of linger into training camp, and how do you guys kind of treat it with the respect that it deserves?
Yeah, that's something that is, it's been hard. It's been hard for all of us. And after minicamp when it happened, we had a call and everybody got to say something if they wanted to, and it was just a prayer and all that good stuff. But it really is just like one of those things where you couldn't believe it when it happened. It's just like wow. You forget that. Things can happen. Quick and you really, it's one of those things where he's a good friend. And you miss him every day. And you wish. You feel sorry for his family and his potential, what he could have been, and still today, something that, is just inside, just coming in for the first day, knowing that, he was gonna, knowing that he would be here normally, and, if he didn't pass away, and just knowing that, like, man, like, you miss him. Guys talk about him today. There's a lot of, conversations where it was like, man, you definitely have that, that sense of like, man, like you lost a really good friend, a person that that you cared about, and it's definitely still hard. But I think it's something that we have to kind of manage as a team, and just I know a bunch of guys want to do something for him this year and for his family, and just showing our appreciation for his friendship and trying to help his family out. So I don't know what everybody's going to do, but there's definitely some conversations going on to figure out what we can do moving forward. But that's one of those things where it's like, man, it's heartbreaking, and just, you just pray for his family and, just try to make sure whatever we can do to, help each other through the process. We try to do it as a group, but, it's something that, I'll probably think about every day this season.
Cliff, with Lamar Jackson, there's always kind of criticism. You always hear it. I don't know if you've heard the latest. There was this anonymous defensive coordinator that came out and said if he has to pass to win the game, they're not winning the game. If he wins 12 straight MVPs, he's not going to be considered tier 1. What do you think about, as a teammate of Lamar, when you hear criticism like that?
Well, that's a foolish statement. If you win 12 MVPs, you're the best, quarterback of all time. And so I think that's. Certain people always have their opinions, and you really can't care about what other people think. Everything, Lamar does is, if he goes out there and wins Super Bowl 3 years in a row, people are still going to be critics, so it really doesn't matter. We just handle our business and do what we do. But Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback. He's a guy that, is just getting so much better each and every year. And, I know he's motivated by the critics, so, I hope that craziness that comes out benefits us as a team. But at the end of the day, he's a phenomenal quarterback, a guy that I have a lot of respect for. I love going to battle with him. So, let the haters talk. We let them chirp, and we just win football games.
If it's something you feel comfortable sharing, you mentioned on after minicamp there was the call about a Jaylon. I guess, what did you say, or did you say anything? And if it's something you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, honestly, it was kind of in the moment. I definitely shared something, but I think, I don't even recall exactly what I said. It was kind of one of those things where you just expressing yourself and feeling what you feel in that moment. But, it's one of those things where, you just got to appreciate life. You never know when it's over, and I've always felt that way when I was a kid. You kind of got reminded, that life happens fast. And, I've been, around death a lot as a kid, and then growing up. And, it's just like, every day is precious. And, but I think the biggest thing is just, trying to make sure that, we keep his family as part of family, and trying to make sure we do something to kind of just show our love and appreciation for, who he was and what he represented. He's a great Raven. And, but, it's just, it's going to be something that's so hard to deal with the whole year. And I think, as a team, we're definitely going to do something for him. So that's the cool thing. But, anytime you lose a guy that you consider a brother, it's hard. I went through it in college, and, it's something I still think about all the time and often, it's just something when somebody you care about, somebody you got a lot of love for like that, it's tough.
Speaking of the critics, it seemed like you had something to say to EA Sports and Madden after seeing your rating.
Well, Madden's always shown me love. We've had a good relationship over the years, but I just, it's kind of funny because I think most people, when you go to year 15, there's supposed to be a decline, right? Everybody assumes a decline for years. I think last, since year 10, they expect a decline, right? But for me, I've always, felt like, I could still be, the best in the league. I feel like I still have a lot of good football left in me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. So, but the way I train this offseason, the way I feel right now, I feel like I'm going to have a big year. I'm going to dominate. And so, I just, it's kind of like, yeah, we'll see. If they think I got a little worse, that's okay. But I know where I'm at right now, and I feel I got a little better. So, we'll see how it goes. But, hey, it is year 15. I get it. The outside world, you think, man, he can't keep going. He can't still be at a high level. And I'm thinking, well, we'll see. So
that's you personally. What about this team as a whole entering this year, coming off something that this team hasn't kind of experienced in a while, which is not making the playoffs? As a team, where's the mindset?
If that don't give you a little bit of edge, I don't know what will. There's a bad taste in your mouth the whole offseason, and so when you're preparing and training, you kind of have that taste in your mouth the whole time, and when you lose in the playoffs, you have a bad taste in your mouth, but okay, we were close. But we don't even make the playoffs. It's a little different, gives you a little bit more of an edge when you're going through your training camp, and not just training camp, but the preseason workouts, and just trying to get ready for this moment. So, I think we're in a good place, though. I think we know what we can be, and that's what's the most important is like, okay, you know, the pieces are there. Now it just comes down to, you know, our execution, you know, our development, you know, from now until the season starts, and then just going out there and earning our way. So, you know, I mean, you know, we're in a position where we know it's going to be a lot of work. It's not going to be easy, and we're going to have to roll our sleeves up and get dirty. But, you know, I look in the guys' eyes and I see a whole lot of guys who are ready and willing. So I'm excited.
Wes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take it easy.